Okay, so we're here with Nicole. Is your name? It's not Parker. It's Walter.
It's hyphenated Walters Parker, but I always go by Walters.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, well, you're here from the Portage Recovery Association.
Correct.
Okay, and so Kaitlyn, for the listeners that are listening in today, Kaitlyn is here, and you know Nicole.
Yes.
You two already have a previous relationship.
Yes.
So you kind of know how this whole thing works, or yeah. Okay, I don't. So could you, like start from the beginning, like how? I don't know. Let's go way back. Let's go in the Wayback Machine. Like, how did you even get involved personally with this group? Did you start it, or
the Portage Recovery Association? No, the Portage Recovery Association is actually 26 years old.
Oh.
So in Portage, there was a school they call it Old Crispin School over there on Old Porter Road. They were known for having recovery support groups. And the building, I think, was getting torn down. So the Portage Recovery Association was created through that. And they've had, I think, a number of different locations on McCool, Willowdale, and now we're located on McCaslin.
Okay.
And so we were at the Chamber of Commerce. We were at the Portage Mall before they demolished it. Like we paid $1 a month rent there until then.
Really?
Yeah. That helped with fundraising.
Demolished it, right?
Yeah. So
couldn't beat the rent.
No, not at all. Not at all. So how I became involved actually is a friend of mine, our president, he was involved with making a decision for it to move. And so it was a board decision, and I came on board to support him and started the social media, and we proceeded to throw parties and stuff. And then I ended up joining the board itself.
So how long ago was that, did you say?
March of 2018.
Oh, that's recent. Oh, well.
With the new building.
The new building.
Okay, but the actual group is from 26 years ago.
Yeah.
Was it always called Portage Recovery? Oh.
Yes. We refer to it as the PRA as well.
PRA, okay. And then in the PRA is the main intent to have AA and NA, or is it just
we have a number of recovery support groups there for to deal with addiction, drug addiction, alcoholism, family and friends of the people with the problem, and then we even have one for eating disorders as well.
Oh,
and so our hope is to actually include a couple other fellowships.
Wow, that's nice.
Into the mix.
Yeah. So a wide variety of people can attend. It's not, you don't have to just be an alcoholic. You can be in, Overeaters Anonymous, or, like parents of someone who's an alcoholic, or family, somebody who's had, so there's a wide.
Could you paint a picture of maybe, I don't know, maybe since since this is further being broadcast further than Porter County, could you paint a picture of what Portage and the area looks like what kind of people live here and all that?
I think in Portage, we're more blue collar. A lot of people that work for the steel mills and manufacturing industry, correct?
Yeah.
And it's fairly large, consists of a lot of people. The churches, Real Life Church, is very proactive in the community. So they have some social support programs there. And I don't know, so middle class, would you say? I'm not originally from Portage. So as far as the demographic.
Yeah, where are you from?
I moved to Indiana from Montana, but I'm originally from California. So
what?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I was given a plane ticket and told it's probably a good idea to start my life somewhere else. So
really?
I left Montana to come here.
Okay, wait a minute. You're from Montana.
I moved here from Montana.
Okay, you're from California.
Correct.
Originally.
Originally.
You grew up in California?
Yes.
Oh, where'd you grow up?
Sacramento, Carmichael area.
Yeah, that's nice over there.
Yeah. So.
That's pretty. So, okay, so then how did you get to Montana? Did you get married or
I was in the military, and my dad had relocated when I was 17 to Montana. I fractured my hip. I came out of the military and went to Montana to live with my family. But, and I moved back to California between that and came back. I didn't enjoy the view while I was there. I spent most of my time in the bars and had
Montana?
In Montana. I had some legal trouble out there.
That's a shame because I heard it's pretty.
It's gorgeous.
Oh.
Yeah, I've returned since then. I'm why didn't I appreciate this when I lived here before?
Yeah.
But I was 21, 20.
Yeah.
And really severe, I was my alcoholism had progressed to where I was drinking a lot, a lot. And so I had already had some legal consequences. I ended up homeless.
You ended up homeless?
Yeah, I lived in a frat house over the summer.
Wow.
And with couch live on people's couches at times. I wasn't allowed to live at my dad's house just because of all the trouble that I caused. Mm-hmm. And so I had some legal trouble, and
was that surrounding the alcohol use?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I had a DUI, and I actually got fired over this because we were partying at this hotel that I worked at. And I barely remember the passenger saying, "Would you like for me to drive?" And I said, "No, I've got it." And then I wake up to this cop knocking on my window, and I roll down the window and I said, "Hi, how are you?" It's 7 a.m. And he reaches in and he puts my car in park. And I look up, and I'm actually this far behind another car on the opposite side of the road. I had passed out. I don't know how long I was
sleeping. Lucky your foot was on the brake.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
was blessed. And I was 0.19 when I had the blood work done. And so I don't know
what happened.
Yeah, I blacked out a lot when I drank. And so when I had my DUI, I moved to a town that didn't have an open container law. So in that way,
on purpose?
On purpose.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, you were knee deep in it.
Yeah, it seemed pretty convenient to me. And then
because you were young too, right?
I was young, stupid.
And it sounded like a great plan.
Yeah, I mean, it was logical.
Yeah,
logical.
Yeah.
So, but I worked at a couple bars, and the last one that I worked at, this lady had found out some things about me, and so I was kind of like the town female Otis in a lot of ways, and I just had a lot of chaos around me. And she said she could not be associated with me. She had been in business for 30 years, and she could not afford to have me work for her. And because she knew my stepmother, actually, that was the only reason why she told me the truth. She said, "My advice is to get out of this state." And I had a plane ticket that my aunt had given to me, telling me I should start my life somewhere else. And
all things just came together.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of helpful in a different kind of way that these people were trying to point you in a good direction. Yeah,
I had already been exposed to recovery support groups and treatment. I had outpatient treatment, so I knew, I knew that there were some issues with me. So when I moved to Indiana, my intent was to cut back on my drinking.
Right, because in Indiana we don't drink.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And
because of we have all these. Not to say we don't drink, but everybody does.
Yeah, and I
lean that way.
I found my tribe out here pretty quickly. And,
yep.
And within 8 months, I ended up sobering up. I was bartending and working for my stepfather, and sobered up 8 months later and went to rehab. And
wow, that was pretty fast. Yeah. 8 months.
Yeah, because I think I didn't have anybody to blame anymore, and I had so much wreckage from the military to Montana that I would hear this voice inside that you're an alcoholic, you need help. I knew it. And I would feel like, it sounds kind of morbid, but every day I would wake up with just sheer terror, thinking that today's the day I'm going to drink myself to death or kill someone. You know, and I felt like there was a grim reaper behind me. I knew I wasn't going to make it, that much longer. So I sobered up at 23, and
that's young.
Yeah.
Yeah. To go through all that and then sober up.
It was the same age that I got sober too. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Young people.
That must be a good, an age of reason where you just kind of say, hey, this is enough. Or...
I wonder. I think that there's kind of windows of opportunity, or doors open, and if you ignore it.
Right.
Right. You've been 21, you've been legal for a couple of years. You're not going, out to the bar on a Friday night with your friends. You're drinking at home alone and getting completely, obliterated. Yeah.
But I felt that if I were to drink at home, that meant I was an alcoholic. So I was a social drinker.
Yeah. Take it to the streets, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was bartending. I was hanging out with these group of guys, and my last drink ended up in the backyard of a guy who sells crack cocaine for a living. And I was telling him I have a drinking problem. I don't know why. I just was crying in my beer moment. Yeah. And he said, my mom is in recovery in Valparaiso. She's sober 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just one of those things that just
thought? Who thought it would be coming from the dealer? Right?
Yeah. So I ended up going, my last drink was at 4:30 that morning, and then I was too sick the next day. And so I went to rehab, and then I ended up meeting his mom in recovery down the road. And because she, I don't know, she just figured it out. And
Oh.
Yeah.
She goes, what was his name? And he went by a nickname, and I told her the nickname. She goes, that's my son.
Oh.
I'm like, well, you're the woman.
So things just all came together.
Yeah.
Wow. Like throughout your story, I didn't catch the part because I don't know if you said it. Like why did you go to Indiana? Like I
had a plane ticket. My mom lives here. I have siblings out here.
Your mom. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, Indiana's kind of a random place to go from like the West Coast over head this way.
It was a shock for me too, because I was so used to like the scenery and it's quiet out there. And so I fly into O'Hare Airport and it's just super loud.
Yeah.
And I didn't really see Indiana. I didn't really appreciate it. I didn't think it was like a beautiful state after leaving Montana.
Right.
And now since then, I've had the opportunity. I mean, I live over there in Miller, so I appreciate Indiana now, but at 23,
not so much.
Not at all.
Yeah.
You probably appreciate the fact that it's populated though, so you had plenty of people to hang around with, right? I mean, there's no shortage there.
Not everybody knows your name.
Right, exactly.
Nice.
So
yeah,
that's another thing. So then, okay, so moving along from like how you got here and all this stuff, like how did you told us a little bit about the PRA and how you got to be a board member, but like, okay, so what exactly goes on there?
Well, we have throughout the day we have support groups. So like the majority of our support groups actually deal with alcoholism, but there's meetings there every day, 8:30. We have a noon meeting at 8:00 at night. And so we have some 5:30s. So that's a lot of what's going on. We have people that are like, we try to open the doors about 5 or 6 in the evening. So then that way people can fellowship. Like we have TVs, pool table, Wi-Fi. We sell monsters, a lot of monsters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we've really, every on the 2nd and 4th or last Saturday of the month, our goal is to always have events. So like this weekend, we'll have it's a free event, workshops throughout the day, and then there's a play.
And awesome.
So these group of recovery members, they created the Actors Guild, and so their plan is to travel to all the clubs and have.
Oh, that's good.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So was somebody in there that was a thespian?
I think so.
Because how would they get that like coordinated? That's pretty good. That's like a pretty big feat.
I'm not a part of it. I don't really know.
That would be interesting though.
Yeah.
What's the name of the play? Do you don't remember?
It's a tradition skit. I have the flyer, so then that way if you want to promote, post it.
Sure.
But it's about this alcoholic who is well versed in the service structure, traditions, like how AA function or how recovery functions as a whole. And so he arrives at a group, and the group is just doing whatever they want, whenever they want, and so he educates it. It's supposed to have like a hilarious like take on things.
So is it like did they create it themselves or did they purchase it?
No, they created it.
So wow.
In fact, our president's he's playing a role in there. And
wow.
One of the girls actually moved here from Los Angeles, and she has her own podcast. And so I know she has some acting experience. So I suspect she's probably one of the people that put this together. But everyone that's involved, they're very excited. We have people from Lake County, Southside Chicago, and Porter County that are involved. And they're always open for more people to join.
Like how many people, like how big is this club? Is it like pretty big where there a lot of people could attend, or is it? Yeah,
I think our
like space
1,800 square feet, I believe. Like it's fairly large. We fit like 120 people in the rooms for the 2 rooms for events.
That's a lot.
Yeah. We went out and bought a bunch of chairs so that way we can.
That's good.
Support extra.
Yeah.
And so is there like somebody on staff that directs all, like coordinates all these activities and like keeps the doors open?
The board does. Like, so Jake, he's our president, and he's actually pretty, like he's the one that spearheaded a lot of these things, like the activities. He's very connected. He has the ability to draw on a lot of people to do different things.
Okay.
So we have an outreach committee and an entertainment committee, but a lot of the decisions are just made simply with our board. We have a number of fundraisers. Like we have a brick wall, so like you can buy a brick and they like a gold plate engraved, and everything that we make, all the profits we make from that wall actually supports a lot of our things. Like we want to get a stage. We bought a speaker system and a lot of things so that way we can add to the entertainment.
Is it an actual wall? Like
yeah, it'll like
who would buy one? Like maybe some of the listeners might want to donate. And be a brick in the wall.
Yeah, exactly. I like that song.
Yeah, me too.
I actually purchased 2. So one was for Teresa, our friend Teresa, and then another one was for a girl that I lived with that I sobered up with, and she actually died from a drug overdose. And so it took me a minute to put everything down on paper, but so I bought one for her. So you can do it as in memory of somebody, or like there's people that bought bricks for themselves and they have their names on there.
Okay.
And
so how big is the wall so far?
I'm sorry.
How big is the wall? Is it like getting?
It's fairly. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a third of it is full. So I would say probably from this window to the end of the wall here.
Okay.
And it is it's a brick wall, and excuse me. And a third of it is filled with names.
Correct.
Yes.
Like nameplates?
Nameplates on the bricks.
Oh.
So it's not technically like a bunch of bricks that are, it's kind of like a wall looks like a brick wall.
So how would you buy a brick in the wall?
All you have to do is
Pink Floyd fans out there?
Exactly. You can come in. We have there's an application. I can even email the application if people so choose. We actually have a PayPal account, or you can come in person. So you can pay a cash check or charge. Okay. And it's $50, and that $50 will go to that nameplate, the engraving, and
that's nice.
Yeah.
It's a great fundraiser.
Yeah. Well, so if they go to your website,
Porter County or PortageRecovery.com.
And then they can figure out something from there, like they purchase this there, or they can at least contact
They can contact me.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't set up a page for that. I'm thinking that's a great idea while I'm talking to you right now.
There you go. Let's make a note of that.
Yeah, because we sell some T-shirts and coffee mugs on there as another fundraiser. So, but I like the brick wall.
I do too.
It means a lot to people.
Yeah.
So.
And I think Carly are your mugs black with like red letters? Because I was going to say, I think Carly has one on her desk.
Yeah.
I see it all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I know it's nice that her PRA mug is cute.
Yeah, I like it.
She uses it all the time.
I know. I like it.
It's fun. We sell it for $10, and the T-shirts are $10 that says "Recovery is possible." We actually originally purchased all of that because in September, National Recovery Month, we threw an event, and so that was one of the things that we sold, and so we would sell those 2 items.
Yeah.
So, what do you do with the money? Like, is that for the activities that you do, or like the fundraising? Like, is it support like the dances or? Yeah,
the wall itself supports all of the extras that we normally wouldn't. It doesn't cover like the NIPSCO bill, nothing like that. We purchase air dryers for the bathroom. Just things that we don't need but we want. And the security system. Sound system, different things. So the anniversary parties that we have, a lot of that, and through contributions in-house, a lot of that goes to covering all the expenses. Because truthfully, I'm one of the treasurer members, and we're going to cut a check for the entire year. And so we fundraise like crazy to make sure that we can cover everything and do some extra fun things.
Yeah.
And so like we have a pool table. It's already paid off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's just with the games itself. We took a picture of the person that put the last dollar bill in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's break even.
Yep. Now we own this.
Exactly.
All right. Finally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
It is. It's fun. And like we have our anniversary party. It's $5 at the door or free with a dish. We actually would prefer that you bring a dish, and we always have a theme. Like this anniversary party is a taco bar theme, and so
who hates tacos?
Right?
No one. No one. I know.
It's nice, and we still do well, as far as being able to raise money. But we want to create an environment that's not that expensive for people to fellowship.
Yeah.
Like when I first sobered up, the Fifth Street Club, I used to go there all the time, and there were dances every Saturday, and just a lot of stuff. And so for me personally, I want to recreate that fellowship that used to be around.
Is the Fifth Street Club still around?
Yes, it is.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but as I recall, Marilyn Marion had something to do with that.
She had something. I'm not sure about the Fifth Street because that was long before her.
Oh, okay.
She was actually the one that was involved in the Women's Recovery Home. So she was the director of House of Blessings, which is now the Women's Recovery Home at the Caring Place.
Yeah.
But it was originally located on Valparaiso Street and was a ranch house, or I think it was a ranch style house.
Wait a minute.
And I lived there, actually. I lived in that house, and that's how I met Marilyn.
Oh, wait a minute. So not care counseling.
Not care counseling, caring place.
Which just built a brand new multi-million-dollar facility.
Nice.
Was this other place on Valparaiso Street?
No, the shelter's been there all along. Just the Portage Stark worked with the caring place to put the recovery home there. So they have two different programs, right?
Yeah, Carly would know more about it, but the Portage Stark, if you go to the one in Valpo, they have a women's recovery thing, and that's through the caring place. Because when the women are at the caring place, they may have a tendency to also need substance use treatment. Okay. In addition to domestic violence help.
But the place that you lived at
was the women's recovery home that Marilyn was a part of starting.
Not the caring place, though.
No, not at that time. Because back then it was the women's recovery home and the Moraine House, and then we had the caring place as the DV shelter. Mm-hmm. But since then, I don't know when they moved into the domestic violence shelter. Right. But when I lived there, I lived in June of 2000 to September of 2001, and there's 14 women, 7 bedrooms, 1 home phone.
Wow.
Yeah. This was before the luxury of cell phones.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Cell phones.
4 bathrooms.
Oh, okay. So Marion, was she part of Fifth Street Club?
She's on the board now.
Yeah. I think many years, or maybe she was instrumental. I mean, how long has that been around? A long time?
Since the 50s.
What?
Since the 50s. Originally started actually in Gary, and then they bought the property back in the 70s or 80s, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then the old Wheeler High School building.
Oh, okay.
But where was it before? You said Gary. Mm-hmm. Was it on a Fifth Street, or was the name still Fifth Street Club?
I think it had a different name.
Oh, okay.
I researched all of these.
Street?
Fifth Street. It's on Fifth Street
in Wheeler.
Right now.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Yeah.
You mean Wheeler, the town of Wheeler, like when you're going out of town, so it's like Hobart or whatever?
2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, yeah.
Oh.
So it's on Fifth Street. So
there's not much there, so I trying to imagine where it is.
I used to laugh and say, if you pass I would tell people, you pass the 2nd Street bar.
Yeah. Right. That was your landmark, right? Yeah. Wow.
There's the Fifth Street Club. We have Portage Recovery, the Yana Club, which is located out in LaPorte. Mm-hmm. Dunes House, the Lake Area Recovery Club, which is in Griffith, and Serenity House in Gary, 12-Step House in Etna.
So are those all related to, like under the same umbrella, or are they just separate houses?
They're separate clubs, separate organizations.
Wow.
Yeah, the 12-Step House actually, back in the day, that's one of the older clubs. They used to detox people on the 2nd floor, and so this was like 50s, 60s, 70s. And it's really interesting because now they're trying to restore the building upstairs because the floor is caving in and stuff. But they want to kind of create like a memorial where you can see what it used to look like.
Yeah. Right. Wow.
That would be cool.
And that's when, I'm assuming the stigma, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s even, like nobody really was talking about anything, right? It was more like a kind of a secret thing, like families probably didn't, and the people probably didn't want anybody to know, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of shame, the stigma. In fact, I read an article about women in the 50s. There was a higher rate of women entering the psychiatric wards for nervous breakdowns. Oh, and so it was suspected that a lot of it was for alcoholism.
Oh, that was the cover-up? Oh, yeah, they did say nervous breakdowns.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because I'm kind of hearing something. So can you explain the difference maybe for people who may not know between Alcoholics Anonymous as meetings versus the PRA?
The organizations are just a house. Mm-hmm. It's a house, and these support groups meet and they rent space. And so whether it's at a church or in a building. So basically we provide the space for recovery groups to meet.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're not picky as long as the time, because you can meet in 2 rooms. So as long as you can fit everybody.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That clarifies, because I was thinking churches. Now that you said that or whatever, that's like typical, right?
Correct. Churches, like organizations like Recovery Connection, they have groups that meet there and all over.
That's a good transition, actually, because do you have anything to do with Recovery Connection?
I volunteered there. On a personal note, my husband was sick, so my husband was going through radiation stuff. So I haven't volunteered there for quite some time, I think about 5 months. But love it there. I'm a trained recovery coach, so I would volunteer. I am, and so I would volunteer there to meet. I coached a couple ladies that lived in one of the recovery houses. So that was how I actually got involved with Recovery Connections.
So that's like the meeting place.
And so they're open to. There's many pathways to recovery, and so they provide a space where people don't necessarily have to follow like a 12-step model. They can go through like smart recovery or whatever that might be. They just provide a non-judgmental place that's available for people, all different paths that want to seek help. And it's really nice because you can use a computer there to printing paperwork to just mentoring. There's a lady that actually works in Lake County that provides counseling there. She's a volunteer. They have a lot of resources. I like the place. I actually am looking forward to reconnecting and coaching again. My husband just finished radiation in November. So.
That's good. So you shall return.
I shall return, yes.
And they just got a new coordinator.
I heard that.
Megan?
Yeah.
Megan moved on to a different pasture.
Yeah.
I liked her. Like in my mind, it's always Megan is like the face of
Recovery Connection.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. She did a lot of stuff with us. We did like a bunch of projects together and everything, and she was awesome. And she ran our treatment recovery committee and everything. So we already missed her. Yeah, she hasn't even been gone. It's been gone a
few months.
Maybe. It seems like just yesterday, doesn't it? It does, like time flies or whatever.
I really liked her a lot. A lot. I heard her name dropped, all the time. And so when I met her, I was like, "That's really infamous."
Yeah, right. And she was there a couple of years, but now she's gone. Yeah. So they have somebody else that's not just as good because nobody's Megan, but I'm sure she's going to fit in very well with the community. So we're good with that.
And they have Carolyn Moore.
What does she do? Is she like?
Does she coordinate
stuff?
Right. I'm not totally sure what she does.
I think she's kind of like a Jane of all trades, isn't she? She works on the scheduling, the calendar.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big place.
Social media
over there. Yeah. You know what I mean? I like it. It's like in a good location.
Right.
Yeah, you too.
It's nice.
They're supposedly remodeling.
Are they? This is their second location?
They were on Morgan Street. Okay. Actually, they were downstairs from where we were. We were upstairs, like flowers in the attic. Yeah, right. That's what we were doing up there, and then we moved on too. So like when you were saying you moved around, the PRA moved around all these places. So have we.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this is our final resting place.
It's a nice place.
Yeah, this is a good place, and we have to keep this address because, like, the more grants and everything you get, you can't keep changing the addresses and moving around. So anyway, we're happy here.
Yeah.
In our studio.
It's nice up here.
It is nice. So, do you have any contact with like Respite House or Mitch Peters or anything? Because he's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I'm actually, Mitch was one of our panel members for our September 14th event. Oh. And he was amazing. I have a recording that I want to put on our website that people can listen to. So he's offered to speak anytime for us in the future. I spoke with him on a panel at Portage High School on baby.
Oh, okay.
So, he's a neat man. It was funny because my professional life, one of my friends had him as an attorney.
Wow.
And so she
defense. We need a defense attorney, right?
But this was the case was interesting. Was that she was suing this organization for sexual harassment.
Oh.
And he was her attorney, and she was dealing with some harassment from around the community for this situation, and she was trying to find a halfway house for a man in her caseload, and she looked at the website. She was like, "I'm paranoid," but or when I called, Mitch answered the phone, and I said, "Oh, I think you need to see something."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I went to the website and I showed her a bio, and I said, "Yeah, he's everywhere.
Yeah, he's
He's everywhere.
He's a fixture in Porter County. Yeah, so that's true.
He's such a neat guy. I mean, his story, and he's a veteran. I've never seen him at Veterans Court when my friend graduated. And I really like how his contribution to the community. And Lita's amazing too, and her daughter.
Yep.
Yeah. And Kathy, Alice's house.
Alice's house. Yeah.
I think Kathy, this is nothing against anybody else that has worked for Alice's, but I truly believe, and I told her this, that she's the best thing that ever happened to Alice's. And I've never heard a former resident say anything ill about her. You know, even yesterday I was talking to someone that lived in Lafayette that she went to Kathy for some help. So Kathy makes herself available, you know, a lot. I just truly, like, I have the utmost respect for Kathy.
Did you live there at any point?
I actually was the first live-in assistant director there.
Really?
Yeah. So it was an interesting job because I was the guinea pig in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It was a 5-year project. All these people had their blood, sweat, and tears involved in there. But it was difficult for me to live with the residents and be in charge of like write-ups and different things, accepting rent. And I ended up as a part-time worker. I was in college, and I couldn't handle the stress while I was there.
Right.
But
Did you go to college here?
I'm sorry?
Did you go to college in South?
Yeah, I did tech.
Oh,
so
okay.
I have an associate through Vincennes from there, and then my bachelor's is psychology at IUM.
Oh, okay. So was Kathy there at the time at Alice's house? No. Were you the first person to take a leadership position? Or
no. Well, there was a woman named Carrie that was our director.
Okay.
But I was the first assistant in the house. I was the first assistant director for the house itself.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Was that a
cool.
long time ago?
A long time ago. It was
Really?
2003, 2004, 2003, and then after that, I worked for 9 months at the Women's Recovery Home. It was on Valparaiso Street. I co-managed, and I worked in the evening there.
That wasn't Dayspring, was it? No. Wasn't there?
Dayspring didn't exist back then.
Oh, it didn't?
No.
Oh.
No.
Does it exist now?
Yeah, I think so.
Does it?
Yeah, isn't it a day shelter? Are we talking about
I think so.
Dayspring before.
Yeah, I know Dayspring.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, there's so many different places. It gets confusing.
Yeah, it does.
Or whatever.
It's hard to.
Yeah, but I did see a post. I think it was yesterday. Lita posted their new respite house that they're building. Is it on Union?
Yeah, it's on Union and.
There's a hall over there.
Yeah,
and it looks like they broke ground, and I think there's rebar looking stuff coming out.
That's exciting.
So that is exciting. Mitch was in here telling us about it.
Yeah.
Did you say 22 beds? Didn't I?
22 beds, and then in addition to the current respite. So I think that is the greatest thing.
It's amazing.
Just to have more beds. You know, I don't know how many beds are at Alice's.
Yeah, isn't that kind of small over there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know the third floor, there's bunk beds in different rooms. So I'm not sure how many women they can house.
Women and not kids, just women.
It's just women. The original idea was to have a recovery home for mothers with their kids. But there was only actually one mother that lived there with her child.
Oh, really?
And so it's just really remained a recovery house just for single women or single residents.
All right. Well, because I feel like it would be nice if there was another more for women too. But I guess that's
like a Elsa's House 2 type deal,
right? Like there's respite, and there's respite 2, and there's Moraine House.
There's the Lighthouse in Hammond. They just opened up their second home.
Okay,
is it for women?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Women's Recovery Center. Now, is that people? So if they're staying at the caring place, they may not necessarily have substance use or alcoholism, but if they're with
because
the women's
domestic violence,
right,
okay.
But if they're at the Women's Recovery Center, they live there?
I believe so.
Okay.
When I worked for the recovery home, it was on Valparaiso Street, so it was before the changes.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of resources.
Yeah.
The only question, and this comes up all the time. Yeah, there's all these resources, but how do people know about them?
Right.
Because you just named off all these different recovery, not houses, but like affiliates or whatever. How do people even know that these, you know what I mean? Like, how much searching do you have to do? Like, if you actually need help, like, how would you do that?
They don't always know.
No, they don't. I didn't know. I mean, when how I found out about the recovery home, I was in treatment, and I didn't have a place to go to. My mom's like, "You're not welcome to our house." Okay. So I ended up moving into the women's recovery home. So that's how I found out about it. But I've worked in the field of social work in some form or fashion, so I'm familiar with all the resources. Yeah. I think this day and age with social media and also there's the internet, and everybody from, this is not a political conversation at all, but everyone from the White House down to local government now, they're very proactive about addressing addiction. Yeah. And I've never seen that before at all, and it's refreshing. But like, one of the reasons why we're so active on social media and online is because we want people to know that we're a resource. So I just think it's word of mouth, right?
It's got to be. We have to tell everybody about these resources and the PRA and Recovery Connection and where they can go to other meetings and things, because it is important, because people are calling here and they have no idea where to even start. Yeah. You know,
how many daughters do we get a month? Like 30?
A lot.
A lot. Kaitlyn, pretty much, you feel most of them.
I just so happen to be answering the phone when someone's calling, looking for treatment for their kid or their husband or their wife or whatever. And it's like, well, people are still out there looking. They still are needing the help.
And there's still a need, a drive for more resources. Definitely.
There is. Detox.
Yeah. I think it's what we just have, Dyer Hospital. This is so unethical, but it used to, like, the way it was before is that you would drop people off at the hospital. It's like, tell them you're suicidal. So then that way they had to stay for 3 days in order to detox.
I've heard that.
Yeah, because when I first sobered up, I used to go to Porter Hospital, was over here for a support group, and they would have people from the detox unit come downstairs for the groups. And so when they closed that down, I don't know when it ended, but that was such a great resource for us out here.
So there was actually a detox.
It used to be.
I wonder why they did away with that.
I don't know. But I think Recovery Works in Maryville, they have a detox in their property.
They do. So, do you have any dealings with them?
Stephanie's Shostak. I really like her a lot. She actually she sponsored, through her organization, sponsored our September 14th event. And so, because I post on LinkedIn that, we're looking for co-sponsors, and really I just seen someone else for another event, Indy, and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Co-sponsors. Yeah. So she approached me at the Suicide Awareness Conference, and she said, hey, here, you're looking for a sponsor. What do you need? I said, I don't know what a sponsor can do. And so she provided us with food. And she had her table there, and we talked about her organization. So,
that's good. She also does some good networking.
The networking lunches, they sponsor those as well, don't they? They pay for those.
I know, but because I had signed up for it on Eventbrite, I think, for the 31st
of January.
But I have to work in Indy that day. It's a mandated thing, and it really
got missed out.
I know. I missed the last one too.
There's tons of people.
There are quite several people there. Tons.
I can't even believe that they can do that.
Like Jansen, what is his name?
Scott.
Jansen. I see him everywhere. I don't know him personally, but I see him at when I've attended the OWERT meetings, and I haven't been able to attend those for a couple months, but that's where I met him. And
Scott is everywhere.
You know what was so interesting when I met Scott was that he represents Gateway Foundation, which is where I was in rehab.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the same one on Taylor Street in Chicago.
Really?
And so when it came, I'm like, when he was talking about Gateway, I'm like, no way. Yep. That's where I got, sober at.
How funny. I didn't even know that. What's funny is that she calls, can I say that?
Yeah.
Caitlyn called a phone number and ended up that my phone number and the other friend's phone number was there listed. So she reached out. I remember receiving this voicemail saying, hi, this is Caitlyn, and got your number and need some help. I'm at this treatment center, what I called, but I never knew her last name. And so then she happened to, I think you just happened to show up at the place that we were at. And I'm like, you're that Caitlyn. Because, you don't, I think you're the only Caitlyn that I know right now. And
because when they gave us a book, and based on, I don't really know.
You just say, oh, I like that name. I'm calling.
It was, you know what, for the certain districts of, meetings and stuff, they had people's phone numbers, and I called, and it just so happened that people who are very involved in, recovery and everything in each area of, your county or whatever, it just happened that way.
That's cool. Wow. Yeah, we had an answering service, and our friend Teresa, same thing. Yeah. Teresa called that number as well.
Yeah.
And then it does work.
Yeah, it does.
So if you need help, make the call, right?
Make the phone
call. Because you're an example of what can happen if you do make the call.
Yeah,
definitely.
Exactly.
I set up a Google Voice number for the Portage Recovery, and then a Google business page. And what's interesting for me is I receive emails every week letting me know, like, this is the amount of times that they clicked on your website, directions to your location, which is neat. And then I receive a lot of phone calls all the time through there. And because the answering service out here is actually no longer in service. And that's another story. But
that's another story for another day.
But so that was kind of what motivated me with starting the PRA phone number, was to make sure that if there's any issues there, the door's locked, but if people are seeking a place to go, they can call us as a resource as well. So
So if you want to get into recovery, there's really not, there's not a lot of excuses, right? Because somebody's always there for you and willing to help, right?
There are meetings,
and there's more people like Kaitlyn and myself that are outspoken now, that we're not afraid to share our stories and let people know that recovery is possible. I don't know if you've ever heard of Brandon George. He was one of our panel members. He's from Indianapolis, Indiana Recovery Network.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, you spoke for one of their phone conferences.
I remember.
He was one of our panel members that came out here, and that was something that he was sharing, that people in our community, that we need to have, walk through fear and not feel afraid to say, hey, I have a problem with alcohol. I've been sober for 19 years, and I know how to get help. I know how to help you and stuff, because a lot of us sometimes seem to want to remain anonymous.
Yeah.
There's still a stigma, but even as a female, there's.
Yeah, I know.
I think for our coalition meeting in February, on February 13th, a group from Indianapolis called Stigma Always Hurts, or something to that effect, is going to speak. So we rotate our meetings to have prevention, treatment, recovery. Yeah. So next month is going to be recovery. So they're coming up from Indianapolis, and it's kind of like from what I recall, because it's been a while, it's like a marketing firm, and they created all these different marketing pieces to help, reduce the stigma. That's so if you're busy next month, come on by, because I
have my calendar with me, so I'll look.
Okay,
and we'll check.
So and then, like you also mentioned, Indiana Recovery Network. That actually is a great group. Do you go on their webinars that they have?
I have.
Yeah,
not consistently. Not recently. No, I still receive the emails. But they have an app now on the Google-based phone stores. I don't think they have one yet for the iPhone. No. Wow. And so what's neat about it is because they consider themselves, they want to be like the hub for recovery. So
in Indiana,
and
I think it's working.
It is. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. They, every resource you can find, and to address the recovery collateral or recovery capital, I believe. Anyway,
so that's a good group.
Yeah. So, I know it's important.
It is. I was going to ask Nicole, so you said you're a social worker.
I don't have an MSW, but I've worked in social work.
Oh, okay. Do you do something now that is like?
I train foster parents, actually.
Oh, is that new? Or?
It's not new, but I worked as a case manager for a number of years, for about 11 years, and I now work as a trainer for about 2 years. And so for the state of Indiana, it's fun. I talk about trauma and how any type of trauma placement disruption, variety of abuses, and how to parent children that have some of these issues.
Is it with the First Baptist, or is it in Valparaiso?
No, I train in Valparaiso, but it's through a state organization.
Oh, wow, that sounds like interesting work.
Yeah, it's a blessing. It's neat. I feel like I can advocate for at-risk kids on a much broader scale. So my passion is
that within 48 hours of a child running away, statistically, they're more likely to be trafficked. And Chicago is actually the top 100 cities, the fifth, the top 100 for reports of human trafficking.
I don't doubt that.
So, like, my goal is to educate people, foster parents especially, on how to work with these kids that are crawling out of their skin, and understand that it's what's the root cause, and not looking at just the behavior. My goal is to try to ensure that kids can stay in one place rather than 15, and try to help them.
So what is the deal with that? Do the kids run away, like teenagers, from the foster parents?
It's just across the board. Teenagers run away.
Yeah,
across the board. It's just with our population, they're at a higher risk.
Okay.
Especially LGBT kids, they're at an even higher risk.
Okay.
For me, it's something that I think just because we see it, it's so prevalent. In Indiana, we have the all the highways and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Crossroads of America, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's easy to traffic through our state, and so
isn't Indianapolis a big like a city for that? Because when I go to India, I always see billboards that say reference human trafficking right when you're going into the city.
Right.
And then at some point, I know that they had some program where they on the soap in the washroom, they wrote a phone number on that other side of the soap. So if a woman, a girl or whatever,
it's in there,
and she's, she can get called to get help.
That's great.
That is.
I thought that was kind of an interesting program.
Yes.
There's an 800 number that's available that I'll have to find it for you. But there's a woman named Annette Valentine she's kind of spearheading a lot of the treatment and advocacy for this population.
Yeah.
So. It's something that, like, for some reason, such a hot topic for me.
Yeah.
But I feel for these at-risk kids, because a lot of times they think that teenagers are the worst population to care for, but it's really 3-year-old kids that are the most violent. But it's our but it's our teenagers. They're the ones that are more susceptible to, higher risk of using drugs and alcohol and stuff. So, and I try to educate people on the ACE study, so in that way they understand about, like, I don't know.
Is that adverse childhood experience?
Yes, yeah. So, like, Dr. Nadine Burke, she is the Surgeon General in California.
Okay.
And she's actually, like, amazing. She has a YouTube video about the ACE study, if you guys ever want to watch it.
Okay.
And she talks about how statistically, like, if your ACE score is like a 4 or higher, you're 250% more likely to develop COPD.
Heart things.
Yeah. And I have a former client of mine, 25 years old, diagnosed with COPD.
Really?
Yeah. And so I was just like
that's an interesting connection.
Yeah.
So
I think I've seen that. I think I had to watch a video on that for school.
Oh.
It's like 13 minutes.
Yeah. Or there's another one of a TED Talk where she talks about ACEs.
That's it.
Okay.
When you say, like, just to clarify, you're saying ACEs.
Adverse childhood experiences, like,
or like, in case anybody listening wants to, is saying, like, what are they saying?
Yeah.
ACEs?
Like, the lingo sometimes.
Yeah, like, what's up with that?
Adverse childhood experiences.
Yeah.
ACE,
we just funded this past month Mental Health America for ACEs.
Really?
Yeah. So they'll be, I'm not exactly sure when they'll be up and running. I'm assuming by the end of the month, because they knew that they were going to receive this funding and everything. So
would you let me know, or will the email chain, does that, are you willing?
Yeah. Well, you know where Mental Health America is?
No.
In Portage?
No.
I'm going to point over here, everybody. It's down like a block that way. It's on Indiana Avenue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just stay on this, road, and you'll see it's on a corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love that.
Are you busy on Thursday? Because you are invited to our coalition meeting, and if that is true, some of the reps are going to be there. Andrea Sherwin and
probably Ann Macker.
Ann Macker, she's local.
Yeah. I can't. I'm training.
Oh,
I'm training
come on,
at 9
Nicole.
a.m. and then I'm traveling to Lafayette afterwards.
You're going to Lafayette.
Yeah. I want
next
to, though.
February, you're busy. On
No,
the
no, no.
31st, you can't do anything.
Right? Seriously.
I don't know. What do you think about Nicole?
I will say February 29th, with the leap year, we're having our anniversary party.
Okay, when you say anniversary party,
It's like we
is
celebrate-
it like a monthly thing?
It's a monthly thing. We celebrate all the recovery birthdays for that month.
Gotcha.
We are planning to do something special for leap year.
Okay,
And
what is
so,
Tell us, what's the secret?
Oh, okay, I'll tell you guys.
Yeah, what is it?
We want to have a time capsule.
Time?
Oh, wow.
Right? And
That's
so, like little things that you can write down, like where do you see yourself 4 years from now?
Mm-hmm.
And then as well as if you could talk to your newcomer person, the person walking the doors, what advice would you give that person?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Isn't
that's
it?
good.
That is
It's
good.
anything
Yes.
Yeah,
Do you come up with these little ideas for?
Jake or myself do.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, that's good.
We
Good
brainstorm with each other, or other people have ideas. Like we had an art show last year. That was from someone
stuff.
else.
Ooh, an art show.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
good.
Yeah.
So do you have this at the clubhouse? Then? Oh, I like that.
And
I
then
love a good art show.
May 9th, I believe, the Saturday of that week, we're actually going to have an event for the community and for mental health and substance abuse.
Mhm.
And so we plan to do that as a follow-up from our Recovery Month event. And we're trying to we keep playing phone tag with someone from the Portage Police Department to have a Narcan training.
Yeah.
So we want to have a Narcan training for the community. Like my goal is for all of Porter County, all of the region to know that Portage Recovery Association is a resource. So it's not just for the recovery support groups or the fun activities, but I'd like for us to have some sort of community outreach. So then that way,
Is that John Worth?
John Worthy's our outreach. Yeah.
He is. He's good outreach.
Yeah.
He comes every month.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Yeah. Will he be there on Thursday? Or did you say he's out of?
He's out of the country or out of state. Yeah.
Oh,
he's on vacation.
On. Now John's out of the state.
I know.
Out of the country.
I know. He travels
attends
a
all
lot.
the time, and he always hangs around later and tries to, make some connections.
He's involved. Yeah, he tries to be involved and talks with everybody.
He's a neat man. He actually was the one that was instrumental in Chief Troy Williams.
Yeah.
Speaking on our panel, as well as Robert Wilson. I know he's met you.
Robert
Portage High School.
Wilson, our man. Yeah,
I do love Robert Wilson.
I do.
He's Portage. Is he high school? Portage High School.
Or it's just a
school. He's like underneath the superintendent.
Yeah, assistant
superintendent. That's true. Okay, yeah, that's right.
For all of the Portage schools.
Aren't you trying to get a training?
We have it set up.
Oh, mental health first aid.
Yeah.
Oh, I took that actually.
Yes,
Recovery Connection.
you did with the recovery group.
Recovery. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think
there different recovery.
Yeah, from Respite analysis.
Yeah, Respite analysis. Some Porter Stark were there. Recovery Connection people were there.
Do you need anybody else? Any other projects?
Could always use tons of people.
Like, who do you need? Let our people know.
Yeah.
The listeners.
Anybody and everybody.
Do you need, okay, that narrows it down.
Mental health first aid for...
What about EMS? Did you say you're working on that? Or?
Yeah, we've got an EMS training coming up. If you would like
fire department.
Yeah, fire or EMS, it's specific to that profession.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so the different trauma that they may see. That training is on January 16th from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. at the Porter EMS building on LaPorte Avenue, Valpo.
Really? How do they hook up with that?
Call our office here at 219-462-0946.
When I was trained with through ICADA, we actually had a lot of first responders there.
Really?
Yeah, it was interesting for me to hear through their perspective about dealing with people that are in crisis. Mm-hmm. And so they were there to have all the training to become a certified recovery coach. Yeah. It was funny when I took the mental health training in the substance abuse section about alcohol. I guess a woman is considered an alcoholic if she has 7 drinks a week. Wow. And a man is 11.
That's not much.
No, it was so funny because
that's one a day.
One a day. That's it. What's up with that? So I asked the instructor, I said, 7 a week? Like I can understand 7 in one day. Yeah. Like I was truly confused. And he looked at me and said, 7 drinks a week is a lot. I was like, really? Like I just could not grasp.
No,
seem like it.
Right. I don't know, Dawn. I don't know.
I mean, you always hear like, what is it to reduce blood pressure? You have a glass of wine a day.
Yeah.
That's what Facebook says. I mean, I see it, the new thing is girls' night in.
Yeah.
Nobody's going out anymore. They're going in. So
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of wine drinkers out there. So
A girlfriend of mine, she's a year sober, and she set up a play date with a friend, and she called me. She had so much anxiety. And then it comes to find out that through our conversation, we discover she's used to drinking wine during these play dates. And so for her, they always talk about people, places, and things that we have to change.
Yep.
Well, for her, it was the play dates. And so
Yeah.
I was saying play date like with another
with kids,
adult.
with parents and kids. Yeah.
That's always dicey right there. I mean,
It's a good thing she's sober.
right. I mean, play date like with your friends, I thought maybe, but like when you bring little kids into it, no, that just seems dangerous.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
you can't do play dates anymore.
Well, she can. She just now has to
Work around it somehow.
redefine it, like the purpose of it. And
Yeah, that's good.
I go, so get some Dunkin'.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, it's always a controversy, like when you have younger kids. Well, I don't know if it's always, it was a discussion topic when Nicole, my daughter, was younger about, like when parents have birthday parties for little kids, do you serve alcohol? Like every one of them said, yeah, we do. Like, what I mean, for the parents.
Yeah.
But then is that really a great idea? I mean,
My dad did for my birthday parties.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying that was a bad idea?
I don't know.
I mean, because do you think like the kids are like modeling that behavior, or just basically like why even do it?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just, he would combine everything. So we would have our friends over. It was a pool party, and then he would have his friends. But
you give them a beer or whatever kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think I probably would have ended up an alcoholic even if he hadn't had it around.
Right.
Like
so you're not blaming dear old dad?
No, not at all. Like we actually had a bottle of whiskey in the liquor cabinet. My friends and I consumed a lot of it and then poured water in there.
You have to.
It was 2 years later where he discovered that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And then you just shrug your shoulder like, no, nothing about it.
Wasn't me.
It wasn't me. Like, who would do that? That's dastardly.
Yes, but see, in my parents, they never served alcohol. Absolutely not at any parties. And here I am.
Yeah.
So, I think, but.
Yeah, we never had alcohol.
Yeah, we just, I feel like I just struck the lottery. I say that kind of in a sarcastic way, but it's just, I responded to alcohol differently. Like my brother and I, all the same upbringing, and he doesn't respond to alcohol the same way as I do.
Oh, really? Did you never had any kind of incidents or problems or?
My brother? No. I actually, well, since I'm in recovery for a number of years, I guess no one's going to judge, but I'm the one that introduced him to marijuana.
You what?
I introduced him to marijuana because my friends and I were leaving for a party, and he said, "You either take me or I'm telling Dad." So I told my friends, "You get him high."
Yeah, do whatever you got to do. He's not telling Dad. Otherwise, I'll have to take care of him later.
Oh, boy.
He's a pastor, 5 kids, and he's a stockbroker.
So that didn't really affect him at all.
No, but me, I ended up in a halfway house.
Yeah.
So my path
different journey.
Totally different journey.
Wow. Yeah. So do you have children?
No, I have 2 dogs.
Okay, because I was going to ask like what their deal was if you had any.
No, that's one of the things that I'm most grateful for is that I never brought a child into this world of my alcoholism. I'm just so glad because,
who knows where that would have gone,
Yeah, just I wouldn't want to put a child through that.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely. I feel blessed and thankful that I did that.
I feel like I would have lost one. Yeah. I mean, like lost them. Like, how you get involved doing other things.
Right.
It's like, where's my kid?
Right.
Kind of thing. Seriously.
Especially,
like, you know what I mean? Because you get involved doing your shenanigans or whatever. And then to have like little ones, that's a lot of responsibility that you can't just willy-nilly.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I just, and then I was okay with not having kids. I feel like, I don't know.
You do have kids though, because you're into the foster care.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like, so you're doing that. I mean,
that's true. I've helped a lot of, I'm actually, all the things in my life that I've done besides recovery, that's the thing that I'm most proud of. The teenage girls that I've worked with. I really feel like I've been able to help change some lives.
Yeah.
So
right.
I feel good about that.
That's good.
Do they ever come back? I mean,
I have kids that keep in touch with me.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing this? A while, did you say?
Yeah, 11 years as a case manager and training for 2. But like I had a mom that actually, can't say exactly where I work for, but I will say this, that I had a mom that was, I worked with a sibling group of 8 kids, and she was the older sister that happened to have a child. So we had another situation for her. And I didn't even remember this, but I guess I used to tell her, raise the bar. You can stop.
Literally.
Yeah, raise the bar. You can change things now and stuff. 2 years later, I called down to the front desk and she said, I want you to know that I listened to you. And I was like, you did? She says, yeah, I raised the bar. I was like, you raised the bar? She said, she had another child. She ended up having the doctor tie her tubes because she was so fearful of having a lot of kids. But she obtained her GED and was in college at the time. And so that made me
that makes you feel good about yourself. Like, I did choose this vocation and it's benefiting people. And that's what your intent was, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I can't even pass. I mean, I have a couple misdemeanors. And so it's really a gift of recovery for me to have had the career path that I have because when I did the background check, it was up to the division manager whether or not they wanted to fire me. And so I've had 2 directors, and a division manager and a director give me an opportunity that most people wouldn't have.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
When you're given an opportunity like Dawn, she gave me an opportunity, and it's just really a blessing despite your past and just the choices you've made, and it's not everybody gets that chance. Some people are looked at and they're want nothing to do with you. But then there are people who are willing to, give you a chance. And that is so important.
So we're glad we gave you a chance because like the community is benefiting.
Of course.
I mean, tenfold. From just even this a little time that you've been here. Kaitlyn's been here, since a year in November?
Yeah.
Has it been? And it seems like you've been here forever and touched all these people. Like last year alone, not even including the partnerships and all these people, 300 people that you had relationships with.
The trainings.
Yeah, the trainings and all this stuff. Plus all the people, Kaitlyn's always calling people, making connections, and she really is the main person that receives the calls, like for the resources,
the referrals,
which is great because she can actually talk to them about it, more so than I could because I could give them names and places, but I can't really give them like the kind of encouragement or
speak to them on that level.
Like she can. So we're thankful for that.
So I love this place.
And I love this place.
And
I'm never leaving.
Can I talk about my impression of you when I first met you? When I first met her, she was actually having like mini seizures. Like she was just like, I don't know how to describe it. Like the person she is today, she's literally a walking miracle. Like literally a walking miracle. The level, the depths that her type of drinking, really, she shouldn't be, she's lucky to be alive today.
It was bad.
So it's neat to see you like all calm, because you really couldn't sit still before.
I still have a hard time with that a little bit, but
finishing because I think you were at Ivy Tech at that time. And so she's definitely a walking miracle.
And then you went on to get your bachelor's.
I finished at IUN, got my bachelor's just this year. I finished that in May. That was fun. Social work, yes. So we have a lot of similar things and just like interests and things. And I think people with personal experiences, but also the drive and passion to, want to help people and hope that other people can achieve sobriety too.
That is the thing. Recovery is possible. It really is. And
it is.
A lot of times, like our families and friends and stuff get so burnt out on our population that they don't believe that there's another opportunity for us. We always hear about the statistics for people that pass away from the addiction.
Right.
But we barely talk about all the success stories of recovery. That's the thing too that I think is great that you guys promote. You let people know that recovery is possible through your program.
Yes. So do you ladies want to sum it up?
Yeah.
Like,
I think
do you
that
have like
was
a joint statement because we have to, we have to close down our studio?
I don't. I'll let Nicole close it up.
I just want to say thank you for inviting me and
Sure,
giving me the opportunity to talk about PRA. We have it's okay if I just So we have a website, portagerecovery.com. Also our Facebook page, we have a business page, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And so whatever what you're interested in. And then if you're interested in contacting me about the brick wall or fundraiser, even buying a t-shirt, you can buy the t-shirt or the coffee mug off the website, but you can email me at Portage Recovery Association @gmail.com, and it goes straight to my phone. And
great.
Yeah. Like make myself available.
Okay. Perfect. Well, all of our listeners support PRA, Portage Recovery Association.
Yep.
Visit them on their website. And thank you so much, Nicole, for coming in. We really appreciated having you here.
Thank you.
I thought we had a good discussion today and everything.
Thank you.
You are welcome to come back anytime.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I appreciate that.